Hey there, treasure hunters. Imagine this, you're sorting through an old jar of pennies, thinking they're worth, well, a penny. But what if I told you that one of those could be worth $5 million? Yeah, you heard me right, $5 million. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1952 Lincoln penny, a tiny little coin with a massive payday. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be sprinting to your couch cushions to check your loose change. What makes the 1952 penny so special? First, the S mint mark means it was minted in San Francisco. And while San Fran is known for its sourdough and fog, it's also home to some of the most valuable coins ever made. Now, here's where things get spicy. The 1952 penny we're talking about isn't just any penny. It's got to be in pristine condition, what collectors call MS67 plus red. That's fancy coin nerds speak for, it looks like it just rolled out of the mint yesterday. We're talking no scratches, no dirt, just pure coppery perfection. If you've got one like that, you could be looking at a life-changing payday. Let me break down the numbers for you. Most 1952 pennies are worth, at best, a few bucks in decent condition. But an MS67 plus red? That's a unicorn in the coin world. Back in 2021, one of these bad boys sold at auction for, you guessed it, $5 million. That's a lot of zeros for a little penny. Now, I've got a funny story for you. A while back, I was helping my grandma clean out her attic. She had jars of coins, like, legit jars everywhere. I thought, this is it. I'm about to find my ticket to early retirement. I spent hours sorting through them, squinting at mint marks, and Googling every other coin. Spoiler alert, I didn't find a 1952 MS67 plus red. But I did find a 1943 steel penny worth about $10. Hey, it paid for pizza that night, so how can you check your pennies? First, grab a magnifying glass and look at the date and mint mark. If it says 1952 and has an S, you're on the right track. Next, check the condition. If it's shiny and flawless, you might have something special. And if you're not sure, take it to a professional coin dealer or send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll tell you if you're holding a $5 million masterpiece or, well, just another penny. So, there you have it, folks, the story of the 1952 Lincoln penny that could make you a millionaire. Who knew something so small could be worth so much? Now it's your turn. Go grab your coin jars, your piggy banks, or even that old coffee can in the garage. You never know what you might find. Did you know that a plain old 1963 penny without a mint mark might make you a millionaire? Yes, you heard that right, $4.8 million for a single penny. I don't know about you, but I'm starting to see my spare change jar in a whole new light. Today, we're diving into the story behind this mind-blowing coin, how to spot one, and what makes it so insanely valuable. So grab your coffee, a magnifying glass, and maybe even your lucky coin, because you might just strike gold, or copper. In this case, let me tell you a quick story. A couple of months ago, I was helping my dad clean out his attic. Now, my dad saves everything. Old baseball cards, weird knickknacks, and, you guessed it, pennies. We found this dusty coffee can filled to the brim with coins. I joked, hey, maybe we'll find a rare penny and retire early. Fast forward to now, and I'm wishing I'd taken the can home with me. So, what's the deal with this 1963 Lincoln penny with no mint mark? First, the no mint mark just means it was made in Philadelphia. But here's where it gets juicy, the coin's value skyrockets if it's in perfect condition. And I'm not talking about it's been chilling in your pocket kind of condition. I mean pristine, flawless, like it just rolled off the mint condition. Coin collectors call this MS67 grade, and if your penny hits this mark, it could be worth a life-changing $4.80 million. Now, why would anyone pay that much for a penny? Well, 1963 pennies were mass-produced, so finding one in perfect condition is like finding a needle in a haystack. Add in collectors' obsession with rare, high-grade coins, and you've got the perfect storm of supply and demand. It's like the Beanie Baby craze of the 90s, but, with actual value. Here's how you can check if your penny might be the golden ticket. Look for the year, 1963. If it says anything else, sorry, no $4.8 million for you. No mint mark under the date. Good news, it's from Philly. Inspect the coin's condition. No scratches, no dings, no weird discolorations. If it looks like it's had a rough life, it's not the one. Consider getting it graded by a professional service. They'll tell you if it's minty fresh enough to hit that jackpot. So, what's the moral of the story? Never underestimate the humble penny. Who knows, there might be a fortune hiding in your couch cushions or that old jar in the garage. And hey, even if you don't find the 1963 penny, you've got an excuse to go on a treasure hunt, and honestly, who doesn't love a good adventure? Before you head off to raid your coin stash, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more tips and stories about coins that could turn your spare change into serious cash. You don't want to miss out. Your dream penny might just be the next topic we cover. You spot a penny that could be worth $4.6 million. Yep, I said million with an M. Today, we're talking about the 1964 D mint mark Lincoln penny that's got collectors flipping their piggy banks upside down. Is it rare? Oh, you bet. Could you have one hiding in your couch cushions? Let's find out. And stick around because I'll share how to spot the real deal and avoid the fakes. So, let's break it down. The 1964 D Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, hence the little D under the date. Now, 1964 wasn't exactly a rare year for pennies. They made billions of these bad boys. But what makes this coin special isn't just the mint mark or the year. It's a combination of errors and a nearly perfect condition that collectors are hunting for. Here's the kicker, a rare 1964 D penny sold at auction for $4.6 million. Why? Because it was a mint error that had experts drooling. Apparently, the die used to strike the coin had some funky characteristics, making this penny a one-of-a-kind superstar. Think of it like the Hollywood celebrity of coins, 1 in a billion, literally. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years back, I was rummaging through my old coin collection, one of those random childhood hobbies we forget about. I found a 1964 D penny and thought, jackpot. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. Turns out, it had way too much wear and tear. But hey, at least I got a good laugh when my family started calling me the penny millionaire. Now, how can you tell if your penny is worth anything close to that insane amount? Here's what to look for: mint condition. Your penny should look like it just rolled off the press. No scratches, dents, or discoloration. Double die error. Check for doubling on the date or lettering. This could be your golden ticket, or copper ticket, in this case, rare die marks. Some coins show faint markings or irregularities that set them apart. If you're not sure, a magnifying glass and a little patience will be your best friends. 1:35 p.m. December 1st, 2024. Don't just eyeball it. If you think your penny is special, get it authenticated by a professional. Trust me, you don't want to be the person who sold a $4.6 million coin for a Starbucks coffee. And a word of warning, there are fakes out there. Some folks try to alter regular pennies to make them look like these rare gems. If someone's selling you a 1964 D million penny on eBay for $50, are you in? Could your 1964 D Lincoln penny be the next $4.6 million coin? Maybe. Maybe not. But one thing's for sure, there's real money to be made in old coins if you know what to look for. And who knows, your next treasure could be sitting in your pocket right now. Imagine this. You're digging through your couch cushions looking for enough change to buy a coffee, and bam! You pull out a penny worth $4.4 million. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, for one lucky person, it's not a dream, it's a 1975 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. And guess what? It could be hiding in your pocket change too. Hi, I'm Jack, your guide to turning spare change into serious cash. Today, we're diving into one of the rarest and most valuable pennies out there, the 1975 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. Spoiler alert, it's got a price tag bigger than most people's houses. Let's find out why. So, what's the deal with this penny? First, let's talk mint marks. A mint mark tells you where a coin was made: Philadelphia, Denver, San Francisco. But this one? No mint mark at all. It was struck in Philly, but the thing that makes it special isn't just the missing mint mark. It's the fact that this particular penny is a 1 in a billion mistake. Now, I know what you're thinking: a penny is a penny, who cares? Well, apparently, collectors care a lot. Enough to throw $4.4 million at one. I mean, if I had a penny like that, my first call would be to the Lamborghini dealership. Second call. Probably to my mom, just to brag. So, here's the tea: this 1975 penny is an error coin. These errors happen when something goes wrong during the minting process, and collectors absolutely love them. Think of it like a factory mistake that accidentally creates a masterpiece. It's like finding a Picasso painting in your attic, but smaller and shinier. I remember when I first got into coin collecting. I was at my grandma's house, rummaging through a dusty jar of pennies. I thought I hit the jackpot with a wheat penny worth $2. Turns out, it wasn't even worth the gas money I spent getting there. But hey, you live, you learn, and you keep searching. Now, let's talk numbers. This penny recently sold at auction for a whopping $4.4 million. That's right, one little copper coin, more valuable than some Ferraris. So, if you've got a 1975 penny in your collection, it's time to get it checked. And if it has no mint mark? Well, let's just say you're about to have a very good day. Now, here's your homework: go grab that old jar of pennies or check the ones hiding in your car cup holder. Who knows, you might be sitting on a fortune. And if you want to learn more about coins that could make you rich, or at least pay for your next vacation, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss the tips and tricks I've got coming your way. Well, buckle up, because today we're talking about the 1978 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, a little copper coin that's currently shaking up the coin world with a mind-blowing market value of $4.2 million. Yes, you heard that right, million. Makes you want to check your change jar right now, doesn't it? So, what's the deal with this penny? First, let's clarify what no mint mark means. Normally, pennies minted in Philadelphia don't have a mint mark. But in 1978, something weird happened. A batch of pennies came out without that signature Philly touch, and it made them rarer than finding a unicorn at a gas station. Here's the kicker: it's not just the lack of a mint mark that's special, it's the condition. You've got to find one that's pristine, like it's been chilling in a time capsule since disco was cool. Coins in top condition are graded by experts, and if yours scores high, cha-ching. Speaking of conditions, let me tell you a quick story. A while back, I was helping my dad sort through his old coin jar, just your average rainy day boredom buster. We weren't expecting much, maybe a wheat penny or two. But there it was, a 1978 penny with no mint mark. At first, I thought, cool, maybe it's worth a cheeseburger. But then we did some research, and the possibility of $1 million penny? Let's just say we were suddenly treating that coin like it was made of diamonds. Turns out, ours wasn't in mint condition, but the thrill of imagining that jackpot? Totally worth it. Now, back to the $4.2 million question: why is this penny so valuable? It's all about demand and rarity. Collectors go wild for unique errors or unusual coins, and when word gets out about one selling for millions, it creates a feeding frenzy. Think of it like the Beanie Babies craze, but, actually valuable. And if you're wondering where to look for these pennies, here's the inside scoop: check the back of your couch. that jar in your garage, or even your grandma's piggy bank. Seriously, I once found an old penny stuck to the bottom of my car cup holder. Who knows? Your fortune could be hiding in the crumbs of your cup holder too. Alright, folks, before you start tearing apart your house looking for pennies, let me leave you with this: the thrill of coin collecting isn't just in the money, it's in the hunt. Every coin has a story, and some of those stories just happen to come with a 7-figure price tag. You're digging through an old jar of pennies, probably looking for enough change for your morning coffee, and boom, you find a coin worth $4 million. Yeah, you heard me right, $4 million. Not bad for something you can barely buy a stick of gum with today, huh? But here's the kicker: it could be hiding in plain sight in your collection. Today, we're diving into the fascinating story of the 1979 D Lincoln penny. Why is it so valuable? What makes it special? And, most importantly, could you be the next lucky millionaire holding on to one? First, let's talk about the basics. The 1979 D Lincoln penny is your classic 1-cent coin with good old Honest Abe on the front. It was minted in Denver, which is what the little D under the date stands for. Now, millions of these pennies were made that year, so why is this one so special? Drumroll, please. It's all about the errors. Yep, errors. Turns out even the US Mint has off days. Some of these pennies were struck with a very rare minting mistake, like a doubled die or an over-polished die that leaves parts of the design incomplete. Collectors go absolutely bananas for these quirks because they're so rare. Think of it like a designer bag with a stitching flaw that accidentally makes it one of a kind. Now, here's where it gets juicy. One of these bad boys was recently valued at, you guessed it, $4 million. Imagine the bidding wars over that tiny copper coin. It's like a heavyweight championship, but nerdier and way more lucrative. And let me tell you a quick story. I once found a 1979 penny in my grandpa's coin jar. I was so excited because I thought I'd hit the jackpot. Turns out, it wasn't the Denver Mint version, and there was no error. Just a plain old penny. Moral of the story: always double-check before you start planning that beachside mansion. Now, how do you know if your penny is the golden, or should I say copper, ticket? First, look closely at the D mint mark. If it's doubled or looks weirdly off, you could be onto something. Next, check the overall design. Are there strange lines, missing features, or a general oops vibe? These are signs of a valuable error coin. And if you're not sure, grab a magnifying glass or take it to a coin expert. Finally, let's talk about the current market. Thanks to high demand from collectors, even less rare error coins can fetch thousands of dollars. So, don't underestimate the humble penny. It might just be your ticket to early retirement, or at least a nice vacation. So, there you have it, the fascinating, potentially life-changing story of the 1979 D Lincoln penny. If this video has you rushing to check your change jar or calling your grandma to raid her piggy bank, then my job here is done. Bam, you find a penny that could change your life forever. Not just any penny, though. Oh no. We're talking about the 1979 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a tiny copper hero with a whopping market value of $3.9 million. Yep, you heard that right, a single penny worth more than your dream house. So, what's the story behind this penny? How can you tell if you've hit the jackpot? And what's stopping you from digging through your couch cushions right now? Stick around, because we're about to break it all down. Plus, I'll share a little personal story about how I almost missed out on a valuable coin myself. Spoiler alert, it involved a vending machine and a serious case of regret. Alright, first things first, why is this penny so special? The 1979 Lincoln penny usually has a mint mark on it, either a tiny D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But every now and then, something magical, or maybe just clumsy, happens at the US Mint. A small number of these pennies were struck without a mint mark, making them insanely rare. Think of it like a factory error in your favor. It's like buying a bag of chips and finding a $3.9 million diamond in there instead of that last, sad crumb, look at the front of the coin, just below the date. If there's no letter, congrats, you might be onto something, condition matters. If your penny looks like it's been through a garbage disposal, it's probably not worth much. But if it's shiny, crisp, and in near-perfect condition, you're in business. And before you start rubbing your pennies with toothpaste, don't do that. Just know that professional coin grading services exist for a reason. Let them handle the nitty-gritty stuff. Now, here's the kicker. The last 1979 no-mint mark penny sold for a staggering $3.9 million. That's not a typo. Million. To put that into perspective, you could buy over 100,000 Starbucks lattes, an island, or enough pizzas to last you a lifetime. Why so much? It's all about rarity and demand. Coin collectors, aka numismatists, try saying that 5 times fast, go absolutely wild for unique finds like this one. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was at the mall, digging for change to grab a soda from a vending machine. I pulled out a handful of coins and noticed one penny that looked different. The date seemed a little off, but I was in a hurry and thought, it's just a penny. So, I tossed it in and got my soda. Fast forward a week, I'm watching a documentary on rare coins, and guess what pops up on the screen? A coin that looked exactly like mine. My heart sank faster than a lead balloon. Was it the penny? I'll never know. But trust me, I don't take pennies for granted anymore, and neither should you. So, what's the moral of the story? Check your coins, folks. That penny in your wallet or junk drawer could be worth a fortune. If you find a 1979 no-mint mark penny, treat it like the treasure it is. Get it verified, graded, and maybe even auctioned. Who knows, you could be the next millionaire telling your story on a yacht. You spot an unassuming 1988 penny with a tiny D under the date. You shrug, toss it aside, and move on with your day. Big mistake, my friend. That little coin could have bought you a private island, or at least a lifetime supply of lattes. That's right, the 1988 D mint mark Lincoln penny has hit the jackpot with a jaw-dropping market value of $3.7 million. No joke. Today, I'm diving into why this coin is worth so much, what makes it special, and how you might find one of these golden tickets in your own pocket change. So, grab your magnifying glass and let's get into it. The 1988 D penny looks like your everyday, run-of-the-mill coin. But hidden in plain sight, this little copper gem has a secret. It's all about the design anomaly. Turns out, some 1988 D pennies were mistakenly stamped with the wrong mint mark style, one that wasn't supposed to show up until 1989. It's like the mint time traveled for a second and accidentally made a fortune for a lucky few collectors. Now, here's the kicker, this error wasn't discovered until years later. People were just tossing these pennies into vending machines or piggy banks, never realizing their true worth. Talk about a plot twist, but why $3.7 million? Simple, rarity meets demand. Only a handful of these pennies exist, and collectors go wild for unique errors like this. Imagine telling someone you bought a house with a penny. That's a flex I'd want on my resume. Speaking of missed opportunities, let me tell you a quick story. A couple of years ago, I was sorting through my dad's old coin jar, you know, the one every family seems to have. I found this worn-out penny and thought, maybe it's valuable. But after a quick Google search, I got distracted by a cat video and forgot all about it. Fast forward to today, and I keep wondering, what if that was a $3.7 million penny? Every time I think about it, I get a mini heart attack. So now, I'm a firm believer in never underestimating a penny. It might be copper, but it could be gold in disguise. Alright, so how can you join the Millionaire Club? Here's the game plan. Check your spare change, don't just throw those pennies in a jar, inspect them. Look for the year 1988 and that tiny D mint mark below the date. Those mint mark differences are super subtle. A cheap magnifying glass can make all the difference. If you think you've hit the jackpot, get your penny authenticated by a coin expert or grading service. Better safe than sorry. Some people unknowingly sell rare coins for pennies, literally, and there you have it, folks. The 1988 D penny might look small, but it's a massive reminder that even the tiniest details can hold the biggest rewards. So, the next time you're about to toss a penny aside, think again. It could be your ticket to financial freedom, or at least a really cool story to tell your friends. That's the story behind the 1993 D Lincoln penny. And before you roll your eyes and think, yeah, right, stick around. Today, I'll tell you exactly why this little coin is such a big deal, and why you should start paying more attention to your change jar. The 1993 D Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, and normally, pennies from this year are, well, pennies. But here's the kicker, one particular penny managed to make its way into the spotlight because of a super rare minting error. Think of it as the coin equivalent of a Hollywood superstar's breakout role. This error happened when the penny was struck on a bronze planchet instead of zinc-coated steel, which was standard for pennies after 1982. Bronze planchets were phased out, but somehow, one made its way back into circulation in 1993. It's like finding a rotary phone in a box of iPhones, totally out of place but ridiculously valuable. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few months ago, I was at a garage sale, classic Saturday activity, right? While chatting with the seller, I spotted an old jar of coins. My heart started racing like I was on a treasure hunt. I couldn't help but wonder, could there be a hidden gem in there? Spoiler alert, no $1,000,000 penny for me that day, but it did remind me how much I love the thrill of the search. And let me tell you, the thrill is very real when you know coins like this are out there. Back to our star, the 1993 D penny. The bronze planchet error isn't just rare, it's unicorn-level rare. Only one has been discovered so far, and in a 2019 auction, it sold for $3.5 million. That's enough to buy a house, a car, and still have cash left over for a lifetime supply of coffee. So, how do you know if you've got this jackpot penny? Start by checking the year and mint mark. It should say 1993 and have a small d under the year. Then, the weight is key. Bronze pennies are heavier than their zinc counterparts. If you're not sure, grab a scale and weigh it. Zinc pennies are 2.5 grams, while bronze ones are around 3.1 grams, and if you think you've hit the jackpot, don't just take it to your local bank. Have it professionally graded. You wouldn't sell a diamond ring at a yard sale, right? Same logic applies here. A certified coin grading service like PCGS or NGC can authenticate your find and give you a proper value. Alright, let's wrap this up. The 1993 D Lincoln penny is a fantastic example of why small details matter, especially when it comes to coins. You might not find this $3.5 million beauty tomorrow, but who knows what treasures are hiding in your spare change. Now here's the deal, if you found this video helpful, or if you just enjoyed dreaming about striking it rich, hit that subscribe button and join our growing community of coin enthusiasts. I post videos like this every week, sharing tips, tricks, and strategies for turning pocket change into a gold mine. A single, unassuming penny catches your eye. It's just sitting there, daring you to pick it up. What if I told you that tiny coin, a 2005 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, could make you a millionaire? Yes, you heard that right, a cool $3 million for a single penny. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, buckle up because today, we're diving deep into this coin's incredible value and how it could turn your spare change into life-changing money. So, what's the deal with this 2005 Lincoln penny? Let's break it down. First, that no mint mark part. Normally, pennies minted in Philadelphia have no mint mark, and that's pretty standard. But this particular penny isn't your average Joe. It's rare, and when we say rare, we're talking about winning the lottery rare. Why? It's all about its perfect condition. Most pennies get beat up over time, scratches, dings, you name it. But a 2005 penny with no mint mark in flawless, pristine condition has collectors practically drooling over it. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few months ago, I was cleaning out my junk drawer, you know, that magical place where batteries, rubber bands, and a mystery key all coexist, and I stumbled upon a pile of old coins. I started inspecting each one, half-jokingly saying, "This one's gonna buy me a yacht." Spoiler alert, none of them were worth $3 million. But one was worth $20, and hey, that's enough for a nice dinner, right? The point is, you might not even realize what's hiding in plain sight. Maybe you've got one of these 2005 no-mint mark pennies chilling in your couch cushions or sitting in an old jar. If you do, here's what to look for. The coin should be in mint condition, no scratches, no discoloration, no signs it's been through a toddler's wrath. Check for the tiny details. The Lincoln Memorial on the back should be crisp, and Honest Abe's face should be sharp enough to make you question your skincare routine. Consider getting it graded by a professional. If it's rated MS 68 or higher, you might just be holding a golden ticket. So, why is this penny worth $3 million? It's all about supply and demand. Coin collectors are willing to pay outrageous sums for rare coins, and this one checks all the boxes. It's like the holy grail for penny aficionados. One was auctioned off recently for, you guessed it, $3 million. That's more than most people pay for their house. Alright, my friends, here's the takeaway: don't underestimate your loose change. That penny you ignore at the bottom of your bag? It could be your ticket to early retirement, or at least a very fancy vacation. So, here's what I want you to do: go check your pennies. Inspect them like a treasure hunter on a mission. You never know what you might find, and while you're at it, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because we're just getting started. Every week, I share tips and tricks on coins that could be worth a fortune. Who knows? Your next big payday could be just a penny away. Thanks for watching, and happy treasure hunting. Hey there, treasure hunters. Did you know you might have a nickel worth $2 million sitting in your pocket right now? Sounds crazy, right? But today, we're talking about the 1978 D Jefferson nickel. Yep, a coin most of us have probably overlooked or tossed into a jar could actually be worth a fortune. Stick around because you don't want to miss this. Let me tell you a quick story before we dive in. A friend of mine, let's call him Dave, used to tease me about my coin collecting hobby. "Why are you hoarding spare change like a squirrel?" he'd joke. Well, one day, Dave found a nickel in his drawer and decided to ask me about it. Spoiler alert, that nickel wasn't special, but it got him hooked on checking his change. Imagine if your story ends with a jackpot like this 1978 D nickel. First off, what makes the 1978 D Jefferson nickel so valuable? Here's the thing: most 1978 D nickels are pretty ordinary. But a select few have minting errors or unique features that send collectors into a frenzy. It's like a golden ticket from Willy Wonka's factory, but, you know, made of nickel. Flip the coin over and check for the D under Monticello, the fancy building. This shows it was minted in Denver. Condition is king in the coin world. Coins in mint state, no scratches, no wear, are like supermodels, flawless and worth the big bucks. The real stars here are the ones with minting errors. Double dies, off-center strikes, or even small imperfections make a coin one of a kind. One known example of the 1978 D nickel sold for $2 million because of its unique doubling effect on the lettering. Now, don't go quitting your job just yet. The odds of finding one are slim, but hey, somebody's gotta find it. And don't forget, even regular nickels in mint condition can fetch a few $100. So checking your change can still be worth it. The current market value for that elusive $2 million 1978 D Jefferson nickel comes from an auction where collectors went absolutely wild. These folks are the rock stars of coin collecting, ready to shell out big bucks for rare finds. Here's the kicker: I once spent an entire Saturday night sorting through a jar of coins. Instead of $1 million find, I ended up with pizza money and a crick in my neck. But hey, it's all part of the adventure, right? So, there you have it, the lowdown on the 1978 D Jefferson nickel. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a total newbie, it's worth taking a closer look at your loose change. Who knows? You might just be sitting on a small fortune. Before you go, here's the deal: I've got plenty more tips, tricks, and stories about coins that could change your life, or at least your bank account. You're at a gas station, about to pay for your coffee, and you dig out a nickel from your pocket. You don't think much of it. But wait, what if I told you that nickel could be worth $1.9 million? That's right, million with an M. Now you're probably looking at every nickel like it owes you rent. Today, we're diving into the 1985 P Jefferson nickel and why it's got collectors losing their minds, and their wallets. So, grab a cup of coffee, maybe even your loose change jar, and let's find out if you've been sitting on a fortune. Alright, first things first. The 1985 P Jefferson nickel, what's so special about it? Well, most of these nickels are just your run-of-the-mill coins, worth exactly 5 cents, unless you're like me and lose nickels to your couch. But, every once in a while, one of these nickels ends up being something extraordinary, and by extraordinary, I mean flawless. We're talking about a perfect, pristine, mint-condition coin graded at MS 68 by the pros at PCGS. This is the Beyoncé of nickels, folks. Out of millions made, only a handful are this perfect. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. If the haystack is made of billions of coins. Now, here's the kicker: one of these rare beauties sold for a jaw-dropping $1.9 million. That's right, someone paid nearly $2 million for a nickel. Imagine explaining that to your accountant. Yeah, I dropped a couple mil on a coin the size of a Cheerio. Let me tell you, when I first heard about this, I ran straight to my junk drawer, because, let's be honest, we all have one. You know the one. It's got rubber bands, a half-dead flashlight, and probably some spare change. I started inspecting every 1985 nickel like I was Indiana Jones searching for the Holy Grail. Spoiler alert, I didn't find it. But hey, at least I cleaned out the drawer. So, what makes this nickel so valuable? It's all about rarity and condition. Coins graded MS 68 are so well preserved that they look like they just rolled off the minting press yesterday. No scratches, no dings, just pure perfection. And then there's the P mint mark, showing it was minted in Philadelphia. If you've got one of these nickels in near-perfect condition, you might just hit the jackpot. Not sure where to start? Step 1. Grab a magnifying glass. Step 2. Inspect your 1985 nickels. Step 3. Don't get distracted by Netflix, you're hunting for treasure here. Look for coins with sharp details, know where, and that all-important P mint mark. Alright, so now you know, not every nickel is created equal, and one tiny coin could make you a millionaire. The question is, do you have one of these rare gems hiding in your pocket or piggy bank? If so, don't just spend it on coffee, get it graded and cash in. Bam, you stumble upon a nickel. Not just any nickel, though, a 1986 D mint mark Jefferson nickel. You think, it's just 5 cents, right? Wrong. This bad boy could be worth up to $1.70 million today. That's right, a nickel that could buy you a mansion, a sports car, or even pay off those dreaded student loans. Intrigued? Let's dive into why this coin is worth a small fortune and how you might strike gold, or, in this case, nickel. First off, let's break down what makes this coin so special. The 1986 Jefferson nickel isn't rare because of its age, it's rare because of a unique minting error that slipped past the U.S. Mint's eagle-eyed quality control. The D mint mark signifies it was made in Denver, but what makes it stand out is a die clash error that left unusual patterns on the coin's surface. These errors are like the quirks of a beloved friend, they make the coin one of a kind. Now, let's talk numbers. Most 1986 D nickels are worth, well, about 5 cents. But the ones with the die clash error? Those are a whole different ballgame. A pristine example was sold at auction recently for, brace yourselves, $1.7 million. That's like turning pocket change into life-changing money. And if you're thinking, that's just one lucky find, think again. These coins might still be lurking in your old piggy bank or that random jar in the garage. Here's a personal story for you. A few years ago, my friend Mike found a similar rare coin in his late grandpa's collection. At first, he thought it was just a regular nickel, but after a quick Google search, he realized it was a potential jackpot. He sent it off to get professionally graded. It came back as a near-perfect error coin. Mike didn't hit the $1 million mark, but he did sell it for $20,000. Not bad for something he almost tossed into a vending machine. So, how can you tell if your 1986 D Jefferson nickel is the one? First, check for the D mint mark on the coin's reverse side. Then, look for irregularities, like strange lines or patterns that don't belong. If it looks like it's been in a fight with another coin press, you might just have a winner. And if you're unsure, consider sending it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. Sure, it costs a little upfront, but it could be the best investment you've ever made. So, what's the moral of the story? Don't underestimate your spare change. That old nickel in your drawer might just be worth more than your car, or your house. If you're as fascinated as I am by the idea of turning everyday coins into big bucks. You heard me right. A nickel. What if I told you that your next cup of coffee could be paid for by flipping a 1994 D Jefferson nickel? Not just coffee, but maybe a yacht or, a small island. Stick with me because we're diving into what makes this seemingly ordinary nickel so extraordinarily valuable, how to identify one, and, of course, how you might get one for yourself. Let's get rich the nickel way, shall we? The 1994 D Jefferson nickel. It's not just any nickel, okay? We're talking about a coin that slipped past the US Mint's radar and ended up being one of the rarest and most sought-after nickels in history. So, why is it worth $1.5 million? Well, here's the deal. Back in 1994, the Denver Mint was cranking out nickels as usual. But every now and then, the Mint accidentally strikes a coin on a planchet. That's a fancy term for the blank metal disc, intended for a different denomination. In this case, it was a planchet meant for a dime. So, you've got a nickel that's smaller, lighter, and just downright funky. But here's the kicker, it still has all the nickel details and that shiny D mint mark from Denver. Now, why does this matter? Coin collectors love errors. Love them. A coin like this is the Beyoncé of nickels. It's unique, rare, and everyone wants it. There's only one verified 1994 D nickel struck on a dime planchet, and it sold for over $1.5 million at auction. That's right, $1,500,000 for a nickel that doesn't even weigh as much as a regular nickel. Here's where things get fun. Start by digging through your pocket change or that old jar of coins that's been sitting on your dresser since 1998. Pay attention to nickels with a 1994 date and a D mint mark. If the coin feels a little too light, looks a little too thin, or seems slightly smaller than usual, it's time to do a happy dance. Get yourself a digital scale and weigh it. A normal nickel weighs 5 grams, but this error coin, it weighs only 2.27 grams, just like a dime. If you spot that weight difference, congratulations, you might just have $1 million mistake in your hands. Let me tell you a quick story. A friend of mine, I'll call him Steve the Skeptic, was watching videos just like this one and decided to rummage through his dad's old coin collection. Guess what? He found a 1994 nickel, but sadly, it wasn't the $1 million one. Still, he sold a few other rare coins and made enough cash to finally buy that barbecue grill he'd been eyeing for years. Moral of the story? Even if you don't find the coin, you might still stumble on something valuable. Plus, you'll have fun doing it. So, here's the bottom line, in 1994, D Jefferson nickel could be your golden ticket, or should I say, nickel ticket, to a life-changing payday. It's rare, it's fascinating, and it's out there waiting to be found. If you're as excited about coins as I am, or even just curious about what other treasures might be lurking in your loose change, do yourself a favor. No, this isn't some late-night infomercial or a lottery ad. I'm talking about the 1998 P Jefferson nickel. Let's dive into why this little coin is causing such a big stir and how you can check if you've got one hiding in your spare change. Okay, first things first, what makes this coin so special? It's all about errors, folks. This specific nickel has a minting mistake that collectors absolutely love. Think of it like a Picasso painting where the eyes don't quite line up, but instead of hanging on a wall, it's jangling around in someone's pocket. The 1998 P nickel from the Philadelphia Mint is prized for its unique die clash errors. To keep it simple, the minting process for this coin went a little haywire, leaving behind some fascinating, almost ghost-like impressions on the coin's surface. It's a mistake, but one that's worth a fortune. Kinda like how I thought dyeing my hair green was a mistake, but hey, people loved it. Now, you might be thinking, great, but how do I know if my nickel is the nickel? Here's what to look out for. Check the reverse side for strange markings near Monticello. It should look like it's been double-stamped or has extra lines that shouldn't be there. Make sure it's crisp, not blurry or misshapen. If your nickel looks like it survived 3 zombie apocalypses, collectors might not be interested. Last summer, I found a nickel in my car's cup holder that I swore was special. I was so excited, I even borrowed my neighbor's magnifying glass. Turns out, it was just covered in gum. Moral of the story: clean your coins before you get too excited. The big bucks come down to rarity. Only a handful of these error coins exist, and collectors are willing to pay a premium to own a piece of history. Imagine paying $1.3 million for a nickel. That's like paying $100 for a pack of gum. But hey, for coin collectors, it's not about the money, it's about the bragging rights. The most recent auction for a pristine 1998 P nickel ended with a jaw-dropping hammer price of $1.3 million. That's more than most people's mortgages. So, here's the deal. The next time you're counting change at the grocery store or cleaning out your car, don't just toss those nickels aside. Take a closer look. Who knows? You might be holding a piece of American history, and your ticket to early retirement. Before you go hunting for nickels, though, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and join our growing community of treasure seekers. I'll be sharing more tips on coins worth money, strategies to make your collection stand out, and maybe even a few embarrassing stories along the way. Thanks for watching, and remember, your spare change might just change your life. See you in the next video.